Hello YouTube. I welcome you back to my channel, and today my subject is fibromyalgia, chronic pain, and the medications that are prescribed to help fight your daily battle with pain and chronic pain. The things that I suffer from, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So many people don't really understand fibromyalgia, or even people with chronic pain. It's pretty hard to walk in somebody's shoes if you don't have the same symptoms or you don't live through something. So, when I first started down this path, when I was diagnosed, it was kind of like the doctor would prescribe stuff for me, and I would just, have no reservation of taking it and seeing what would happen to take away my pain, etc. And what I learned along the way is that you really need to look at other parts of your life when you suffer from fibromyalgia and chronic pain, because there are things that can contribute to your pain that might not be totally obvious to you in the beginning. And there's all kinds of groups on Facebook, and there's hashtags on Twitter, and and of course YouTube. There's a fair bit of information about it on there, but there really isn't. There's bits and pieces, and me being somebody who knows firsthand what's happening with all of this stuff, I wanted to do this video to just talk a bit about different things that I've found help me, and what didn't help me, and what side effects those different prescriptions caused me. So first of all, I think that what people have to understand is junk in, junk out. And you might say, well, what the heck does that mean? It basically means whatever you put in your body is going to affect you. So one of the biggest things that you need to do if you suffer from chronic pain or fibromyalgia is change your diet. And that can be different for everybody. One person, might be affected by one type of food or drink, and it might not affect another. But I'll list a few things that I found affected me very much so. One of them is dairy. So dairy also contributes to osteoarthritis, which goes hand in hand with chronic pain and fibromyalgia and all the rest. So that's one thing that I found. When I eliminated dairy from my diet, I did find an improvement, in the pain in my hands and, my neck and my back and all the other joints that affect me on a daily basis. Does it completely remove the pain? No. But it does help. And when you get up in the morning and you, have changed your diet a little bit, the improvement is very helpful, psychologically, mentally, as well. One of the other foods that I found that I removed from my diet was red meat. And I think there's been that, that discussion about red meat for years with a lot of people for other health reasons. Animal meat, not being so good for you, especially red meat. And dead on, red meat does not do me any favors whatsoever. If I have a hamburger or any kind of red meat, steak, whatever, the next day, or the next few days, I pay for it tremendously in my pain levels. The next culprit on the list is processed foods. Basically anything processed, because they put so much junk in our food. So I mean, any kind of processed food usually has MSG in it, and which is terrible for our bodies. So I try to stay away from anything completely processed as much as possible. Excuse me. And going right along with that is also anything with sugar. Anything with sugar, just you might as well take a hammer and beat it all over my body, because the sugar just completely destroys me. So that piece of pie or cake or scoop of ice cream at a family gathering, I'm honestly getting to the point where I'm saying no, because it's just not worth it. You know, the pain that I go through, you know, the day after, or even sometimes the night of, when I eat a lot of these different foods, just doesn't, it's just not worth it. You know, the suffering I have to go through for this. So diet, I believe, is one of the first things that somebody has to look for if they suffer from chronic pain or fibromyalgia or rheumatoid arthritis or whatever. Now, rheumatoid arthritis is a whole different ballgame. I realize that. But I think that diet would also play a lot into that arena. Now, the one other item that is frowned upon by, you know, pain doctors and people like that is also caffeine. But you know, with fibromyalgia, one of the biggest symptoms we have is fatigue. So if you're getting up in the morning and you know you barely get out of your bed, and you're just tired, and because we don't sleep very well, I don't sleep very well. You know, you know, that cup of coffee is the difference between honestly doing something that day and not. You know, today's video is actually a day for me that is a bad day. I'm not feeling very well at all, and that's my own fault, because we had a family birthday on the weekend, and of course there was cake and pie and so on. So I'm paying for it. It's my own fault, but I'm paying for it. So that said, diet, yeah, it's a big deal for anybody, but more so for people in pain. Now, some of the drugs that I was put on when I first was diagnosed, and along the way, one of them is called gabapentin, GABAPENTIN. And this drug was originally used for controlling seizures, but they found that it helped people with fibromyalgia, because part of our problem is nerve pain. And that's basically where, you know, you have nerves all through your body, and something along the way in your life causes your brain to send fight or flight to your nerves. So, you know, whereas a normal person, you know, if you bang their hand with a hammer, you know, they're going to have pain. But somebody with fibromyalgia, our brain doesn't know how to shut that off. So we suffer with nerve pain, you know, practically all the time. So if you think about that, you know, if you're somebody that, you know, overdoes it in the garden or whatever, and then you have some sore muscles the next day. Well, with fibromyalgia, we don't have to do anything to feel that way. It just kind of happens. So gabapentin um, I will admit, helps with that, with nerve pain and pain. But there are a lot of really huge side effects with this medication. One of them is weight gain. People, including me, put on a lot of weight while on this medication, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you lower your calorie intake down, it doesn't matter. It just makes you gain weight. For some people, it can cause fatigue, which it did for me as well. It also, my teeth and gums in the last couple of years since being on that medication have started to bother me a lot. Receding gum line, that sort of thing. Also, I found that for me, this medication also made me very moody. When I was on that medication, I would get up and in the morning and not feel very like I was, like, I won't say depressed, just didn't really have any motivation, just, whatever. So all of that said, I had to make the decision to weigh the pros and cons of that particular medication, and I decided to stop taking it about 4 months ago, and huge improvement in my mood. I do suffer from more pain because of it, but the weight gain at my age, with blood pressure problems and cholesterol problems and diabetes runs in the family. I don't have it, but it does run in the family. I had to decide how I can try to help myself without also putting myself in harm's way in so many other different ways. So by improving my diet and just maybe mind over matter, I don't know, but I am in more pain from not taking it, but at the same time, I don't want to be 100 pounds overweight, and I don't want to have diabetes, and I don't want to have bouts of depression because of it. So no more of that. Another thing that happens to most people that are in the chronic pain department is also suffering from depression, which goes along, and anxiety, which goes along with the fibromyalgia, because get up every day and you're in pain doesn't make for a smile on your face. I think that you definitely have to keep yourself busy when you have these problems. You got to find ways, like I said, diet to help, mild exercise, walking, swimming if you're able. Right now with this pandemic going on, can't get anywhere near a pool, or would I? But antidepressants are high on the list of doctors' prescriptions for people with chronic pain and fibromyalgia, because they increase the serotonin in your brain, which will make you feel better, even though the side effects to a lot of these medications are wide angled as well. The antidepressants affect your sex life. They affect your your ability to do some things, because they can make you lightheaded, dizzy. Some of them can even make you suicidal. That's the crazy part. A medication that's supposed to help you with depression can actually make you, suicidal. So, I used to take those as well, and I weaned myself off of that. And like I said in the beginning of the video, it's not easy. The only medication that I take is Tylenol 3s for pain, and I will only take them when I just can't deal with it anymore. When I'm just in so much agony that I just need relief, and it helps. But you can't be taking those every day either, because they're an opiate, and if you want to get yourself in trouble, that's a good way to do it. Take too many of those. So I limit myself to one day I'll take them, and then I'll wait 2 or 3 days if humanly possible, and I don't follow any pattern. So and this is just because I owe it to myself and my family, not to make my illness a bigger problem. And I know some people, get hooked on opiates, and I can understand it. Different people have different degrees of chronic pain and fibromyalgia. I don't know where I stand in that percentage or whatever. I know that I don't feel good a lot of days, so I don't know. On the Facebook groups, there's people on there that are taking, horrendous amounts of drugs, and they still feel like crap, and they don't get out of bed, and they don't move, they don't exercise, they don't do much of anything. And I think that's where you really need to have a plan. When as you can see from some of my other videos, I never stopped trying to learn about what's going on with this disease, and for me, and how I can help myself in any way. And it took a couple of years of being on some of these other drugs to finally see and try some other ways to help lessen my issues. So Tylenol 3, you can get constipated, you can have some problems with balance and dizziness, and but generally when I take it, it's because I just I need some relief. So it's not something I take and then go driving or operating power tools or anything like that. I take it, and generally I'm on a couch or in my lazy boy in my man cave watching a video. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to talk about when people end up in this situation, they need to look at other ways other than just loading themselves up with pharmaceuticals. These pharmaceutical companies, they put stuff in this stuff to almost try to kill you when you try to go off of it. The side effects when you stop taking the pills can be brutal. And that's a scary thing in itself. So take care. Please subscribe to my channel. I like to provide as much good information for people that suffer with the same illness as I do, and also videos on stuff for seniors and retirement. So subscribe to my video and hit the like button, and I appreciate you listening. And like always, I I hope that my video my videos help people in some form or fashion. Thanks very much, and have a wonderful day.